morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my talk of MicroProfile for Dummies. I'm Emily Jiang from IBM. I'm the Liberty Microservice Architect, and I'm also Senior Lead for MicroProfile and CDI. Feel free to ask questions as we go along. Afterwards, if you have any questions, ask me via Twitter or LinkedIn. My ID is the same, Emily F.H. Jiang. In this talk, I will give a quick overview about MicroProfile and then followed by a live demo of creating a couple microservices using MicroProfile APIs. So why MicroProfile? MicroProfile is here to help with creating cloud-native applications, creating microservices. It offers a set of APIs for you to build cloud-native applications like microservices easily and efficiently. MicroProfile has been around for over 4 years. As you can see from this picture here. In 2020, just before Christmas, we released MicroProfile 4.0. Actually, in 2020, we spent a lot of time to set up a MicroProfile working group. So transform MicroProfile into a standard body. So this working group was set up in October 2020 with 5 corporate members from IBM, Red Hat, and TomEE, Elastic, and Atlanta Jag. As you may know, Atlanta Jag is also the organizer for this conference, Devnexus. MicroProfile is completely community-driven and is open and transparent. It has the APIs, TCKs, and specs in the public domain in the Maven Central. Itself, it does not host any implementations. However, you have many implementations to choose from. MicroProfile community is diverse in terms of the contributors and also implementations. So it has contributors from companies like IBM, Red Hat, Payara, TomEE, and Jiang, and individuals. And also it has like a dozen implementations. Like IBM, we have OpenAPI, WebSphere Liberty. Red Hat has Quarkus, Wildfly. Payara has Payara. TomEE has Apache TomEE. Oracle has Helidon. Producer has Apache Launcher. And also there's others like Cumulus EE, Hammock, Prana, Apache Geronimo. So many for you to choose from. So this is a quick timeline about MicroProfile releases. As you can see, the release, the first version is in 2016 with 3 specs from Java EE 7. And then since 2017 to 2020, it has 3 releases per year. In 2020, because we spent a lot of time to set up a working group, so we managed to release 2 versions of the MicroProfile, 3.3 and 4.0. MicroProfile 4.0 aligned with Jakarta E8. So you can tell from these boxes, Jakarta CDI, Jakarta JSON-B, Jakarta JSON-P, Jakarta JAX-S. And also these 8 MicroProfile specifications released many features. So some of them contain breaking changes with the exception of JWT authentication. So here is the kind of the representation for MicroProfile current status. So it has the platform release and also has a standalone release. So for platform release, it has these 4 Jakarta E technology plus these 8 MicroProfile specifications. And standalone release, including the reactive specifications and context propagation, GraphQL. The one in gray is the LRA, long-running actions, which has not been finally released. So hopefully this year we will be able to release MicroProfile LRA. As I mentioned earlier, MicroProfile is here to help you to create microservices. As you know, RESTful services is very popular as microservices. So you can create using JAX-S, CDI, JSON-B, and JSON-P to create RESTful services. Once you are dealing with microservices, you will have to deal with many microservices. How can you connect these microservices? So you can use the MicroProfile REST client to directly connect these microservices. And then you can add the quality of services like config, resilience, and security, and also documentation. So use this for specifications. And then you need to think about day-to operation like health and metrics. And if something goes wrong, you need to figure out which microservice need to be fixed. So you use open tracing. So this is the kind of user tower to represent how these technologies are working together. So how to get started with a microprofile is very simple. We provide microprofile starter, starter.microprofile.io website. You can create your Maven project. And also we are trying to provide like a Gradle project as well. And also we have IDE plugins like VS Code plugin and also IntelliJ plugin. They both use the APIs directly from the MicroProfile starter. So me give you a quick demo of creating two microservices, service A and service B running on OpenLiberty, and they can talk to each other using MicroProfile. We go to VS Code. So I can directly call them MicroProfile plugin. So here I can say OpenLiberty. Is OpenLiberty is very soon is able to release a version 4.0 implementation. Currently, the 21.01 beta has the version 4.0 support. So if you want, you can check it out. So here, like OpenLiberty. I can run on Java 11. I want to demonstrate all of them. To put into Devnexus folder, add to current workspace. As you can see here, it created two microservices, service A and service B, and they all running on OpenLiberty. So you can see the dependency. I just need to specify 3.3 and be able to get all the APIs. So this is the Liberty plugin. And also is like service B also running on Liberty. So it's service B has two endpoints, like there's a service controller and also has a secure endpoint. So let me start the both microservices on OpenLiberty. So I can go to service A. I can start Liberty in dev mode. So Liberty dev. So dev mode means when you doing like a more code change, and then the plugin automatically pick up the change, and you can see the changes straight away. I can start being dev mode as well. Let me explain to you like service B here. Basically, in my architecture, service A directly call into service B. So this is a service B endpoint. So this is service B JAX resources. So it has to do something, have a pass param, and is a get operation. So how can I make a service A directly call into service B? So basically, I need to just create the interface represent service B's functionality. So it's do something get operation. The only thing I need to do is annotate with register REST client. And then in service, and then I can directly inject that service into my JAX resources, and then I can call them. So that you may ask, how does service A know where service B lives when the code is this one? So the beauty is you can configure it using MicroProfile Config. So you can do a directly fully qualified class name for this interface, /mprest/url and directly put a service B's like a URL there. So service B lives on the 9081 the data client service. So with that, like you can see, like service B, if I call service B, it should process parameter value. Both of them up running. Let me go to service A is on the port is 9080. So it's and you can see here. If I go to the first one, so it's local 9080. So let's go. So this is the service A endpoint, and then this is the service A directly call into service B process parameter value. Let me like change service B. Maybe I say instead of here I say service B, and also I got service B. As you see, is a kind of save that. See the change picked up straight away. I want to demonstrate how to configure your microservice. So is in service A, I mean say instead of directly relay what the service B says, I want to also add something. This is Emily, like from, for example, at, and then I say which conference, and then that. And then I want to inject the conference. So I can use the config. I can say at inject at config property. Maybe as my property, I will say conference. And then I can save this one. Oh, see, I got error straight away. So what did the error tell me? So the errors need to go to the top. Basically, there are no such element. Property conference was not found. So that's right because I have not defined it. So I can define the MicroProfile properties, or you can define as a system property, environment variable, and etc. Or Kubernetes config map. And then I define this. I have a VS Code MicroProfile extension pack. It has a language server support to help me to directly do a code complete. So here I will say Devnexus. Now he should be happy. Yeah, restarted. And then now let's go back. See, you can get a change straight away. So next thing I want to demonstrate to you is, for example, service B is very flaky, and sometimes it's not working, and sometimes it's very slow. So let me just directly put some bug in here through some exceptions from time to time. Every 3 times I kind of being slow, five times and being like 3 exception. And let me save this one, and then you can go to the service A to directly to see the change. See, now it's really slow, and then later on it doesn't work. So how can I fix the problem? You might say, okay, that's easy, just directly to fix the service B. But sometimes you don't have the authority to fix the service B, or you don't own service B. So, you have to change yourself, or make yourself bulletproof. So it's luckily MicroProfile for tolerance is here to help. So I can just directly say, okay, I want to retry. If something is not working, I retry. And then, it's sometimes really slow. And I say, actually, also I want to specify timeout. If it's more than 100 millisecond, and I want a timeout. And whenever you do a timeout, it's always best practice to use a synchronized a programming model. using that, you have to reach the completion stage from Java 8. So probably by now, most of you know about the completion stage or the Java 8 cool features. So with that, I need to return a completion stage, directly calling completable future dot completed future, and then do this. So yeah, so I think I have made my microservice A resilient. So let's go back to here. So it's 7, and then it's kind of, see, it doesn't have any long delay. You can see the number jump from 14 to 16, because sometimes it doesn't work. It will do a retry straight away. So that's a quick demo of the how to create a resilient microservice. And also with the MicroProfile, you can it's able to document this like microservices for you, automatically if it's you are doing a JAX-S JAX-S microservices. So there's MicroProfile is a localhost 9080, and then it has endpoint / OpenAPI. If you know Swagger, you know this is identical to Swagger. This is because it's adopt Swagger. In OpenLiberty, we also integrate a Swagger UI. You can see this is the operation directly calling to the client. You can even try it out. It generates all the kind of the documentation for you. If you want to add some additional description and etc., so you can use MicroProfile OpenAPI, MicroProfile OpenAPI annotations. So such as let me directly use the MicroProfile OpenAPI annotations, and then let me do the import. So with that, it describe this operation, and also describe the response, like what 404 means, what 200 means. So in here, you will refresh it, so you can get these changes straight away. The next thing I want to show is the metrics aspect. And the MicroProfile AutoBox also give you the endpoint / metrics for the class loading, and also if it's JAX-S invocations, also give you some AutoBox, some like metrics. So it's if you want to add some additional metrics, so you can use the MicroProfile metrics annotations, such as simply timed. Maybe you can say name equals extra timer. Save that. Now go back here and directly call this one. Refresh that. You can see it's the kind of the extra timer. So it's all this count and gauge and etc. And also the fault tolerance also give you automatically metrics about how many times being timed out, and how many retries has been done, etc. etc. So that's for the metrics. The other thing is I'm going to show you is the health. So it's the other data operation. So it's MicroProfile health also give you like two annotations, liveness and readiness. Liveness, and then basically you annotate the one class with liveness, implement this call method, and put the logic here for the payload for this liveness check. For this one, this is the payload for the endpoint / health / live. And similarly here is for /health /ready. For readiness check is kind of one of the popular kind of recommendation is the kind of check whether you can access a database or not. If you can't, probably you had better say you're not ready. So with that, let's go back here. Like you can see localhost and /health/live, and see the liveness one. Now here is a readiness check. So the other thing is the kind of I mentioned about problem diagnostics. So basically, if you one operation involved in many kind of microservices, you need to correlate these microservices. That's what a microprofile open tracing is here for. So I have a Jaeger running in the background. Basically, microprofile open tracing working in the background, be able to correlate a trace ID for your JAX invocations. So here, if I say like getting tracing, here is also is correlate this trace ID. So and then you can see like the invocation from A to B, and then how long is this this B takes and how long this A takes. So it's this correlate these spans together. So this is the open tracing. The other things that we have been talking about the kind of the non-secured endpoint. What if my endpoint is secured, such as in this ServiceB, I have a secured endpoint. So this one is kind of the secured. So only allow the protected role to access this endpoint. How can I configure my client directly pass in this kind of the group so that I know whether I allow it to access this endpoint or not. So how it works is in my caller, so I can use a call. I can use a REST client call, or I can use JAX client call. In this scenario, I build my own JAX client directly call this backend. The thing is, no, you can't just directly call it. If you directly call it, you won't get anything back because it will reject it. So you need to pass in the JSON web token. In that token, I need to contain which group you belong to. So this is kind of pushed as a header when you directly call this backend. And then it will get a response and display the response. So first, I need to create a JSON web token so that I can push it as a header. So how to create a JSON web token? So you can use some APIs like Liberty. We have a JSON web token creation API. In Vertex also has some API. Also, you can use OpenID provider such as Keycloak or some other providers directly create JSON web token. This has to be a MicroProfile JSON web token. MicroProfile JSON web token is add the two claims. One is UPN, the other one is groups. So basically, so here is just an indicator which group it belong to. So and then you can just directly for this one, so you know we pushed this JSON web token as a header. Now let's directly access that. So let's go to here. So it's directly accepts that token and put a response back. And also you can directly if I say here is not protected, here I will say super, and then you will get your call rejected. So now here you won't get any response back because it's directly rejected. And if I change it back, protected, it will work. And also in the ServiceB, and you can even print out the such as you can directly inject JSON web token. Then you can display the token, for example, token. Token get raw token. Yeah. So the other thing is the GraphQL. So in MicroProfile GraphQL, basically it's introduced a few annotations. Is directly the same. Let me directly find all the GraphQL. So it's a GraphQL API and query and mutation. So you can use all these pure query. You can build a GraphQL pure query. For example, here all hero. So you can go back here to say it's all hero, and then you can get all hero. And then you can do the mutation, create a hero, and then you can query this Captain American again, and you can see it being added to the database. So that's a quick run through of the MicroProfile specifications. Let's go back here. So in the future, currently we are talking about align with the Jakarta EE9 in the MicroProfile 5.0, and also we trying to adopt a micrometer as a kind of microprofile metrics. And also, as you know, open tracing and open sensors merged into open telemetry. So we need to align with the open telemetry under CNCF. And also, this year we set the Eclipse set up a Cloud Native for Java Alliance to further build a strong relationship between the MicroProfile and Jakarta EE. So we're trying to work on that relationship as well. So if you want to find more information about MicroProfile, you go to microprofile.io, or learn anything about MicroProfile, go to openapi.io/guides. You can learn any MicroProfile specifications, and also use the starter to build MicroProfiles. If you have any questions, ask me on Twitter. So it's thank you for watching. Bye.